Well, welcome to the Better Business Bureau Sharing podcast. And we are broadcasting live, believe it or not, at the Ignite Studios. Ignite, sparked by BBB, right here in Glen Allen, Central Virginia, Richmond, whatever we want to call it, right, Evie?
Richmond.
We call it Richmond now?
Richmond.
Evie keeps changing my name. But Evie, introduce yourself again. I already said I'm Barry Moore, I think, didn't I?
I'm pretty sure you
I
did.
think I did. I always do. And with that, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Evie Kara-George. I'm the director of Ignite, sparked by BBB here in Richmond, Virginia. We're here with Dale Fickett and Sid. What's your last name?
Tanu.
Tanu?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
That's all right. We're here to see what they have to say, and
Thank you for having us.
thank you for
Yeah.
coming.
That's great.
We're going to let Sid introduce himself.
Okay.
Sid has got to be one of the smartest guys you hang out with, Dale.
He's
And
the smartest.
He
makes-
might be the smartest. And
yeah.
I've had a couple of great conversations with him over the short time I've known you guys. And I'm excited to have you here, Sid, in your time. So just introduce ourselves, like Evie said. It's her show, by the way. So it's whatever she says we do.
Yeah. Like Evie says, my name is Sid Tanu, and my background is in banking, and I've been helping people fix their credit score, and my work's been like helping people get their business loans. So, and I'm now helping a lot of people get their entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I met Sid because he was at Capital One, and he was one of the smartest people there. So I knew it was someone I needed to spend a lot of time
Right.
with. And when I started explaining that part of the issue for the entrepreneurs we help is access to capital, then I knew Sid was someone I really needed to work with because Sid understands loan underwriting.
Yes.
He understands investment portfolios. He understands risk management. He understands new venture creation, technology that goes into not only getting a business up and running, but growing it and what happens behind the screen at the bank on the other side of the wall.
And that's very proprietary type knowledge. You don't get that without doing it. Get your hands dirty. So, Dale, you got to tell us who you are.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. I'm still waiting for Evie with the national anthem. Is that going to
She'll
happen?
sing that probably
Nah,
the next
no.
show.
Never.
She's an amazing singer. Someday we're going to get her to
Barry,
perform
you've
here.
never heard me sing anything.
She's a rapper, really.
Oh, excellent.
That's
All
my
right.
idol.
Yeah, Sid will start the beat here in a
There
moment.
you go.
Okay. So I'm Dale Fickett, and I have two different jobs that I do all the time. So one is I lead a nonprofit, which is called RVAWorks. And so we got started back in 2014 when I was still working at the city of Richmond. And then I'm also a professor. That's actually, more my full-time job is being a professor at the University of Richmond. So I teach entrepreneurship and innovation. And pretty much everything that I do falls under this big umbrella of helping more people be business owners. Because if we want really good solutions in communities that need it the most, then people need a way to make more income and to build assets for themselves and their families. So that's what I'm all about. And there's a lot of stuff that goes into making that happen, right, Barry?
There really is, and you guys work the people right through it. And your fee is a song, right?
Yeah.
How much is the?
Oh, I mean, most people that come through the RVAWorks program. So we have a few different programs, but
Right.
but the program that we have here at the BBB that Barry has helped us really incubate and have a nice home for is the RVAWorks 13-week groups where people go through in a cohort. They study all the core business skills that they need to go from, hey, I have an idea, I think this could work, all the way through to I started my small business, right? So to answer your question, most people qualify for needs-based scholarship,
Yep.
and most people pay $100 for 13 weeks of education, which is really
Even 500 is
minimal.
a great offer. And then
Yeah.
what you're doing, and again, what we're going to do with Ignite here and how you guys are going to be involved. We got Gail, the storyteller. We're going to factor him in here in Ignite at some point, and a couple other great people. But what I want to do is just like, I want this town to be different than what we found it, right? I want people, I'm tired of, and Dale, you and I have had this conversation many a time.
plenty of time.
And it's not about just saying I'm going to do something for drug rehab. I'm going to just tell people not to do fentanyl. I'm going to get people off of alcohol. I'm going to get people a job. I'm going to get them a loan to do the business. And because of their color, they're going to automatically qualify. Everybody is a human being, and that's what I care about. And I think that you and I align with that. Of course, I want to give out a help to where it helps, but a handout versus a hand up is my mentality.
Yeah, well, if I back up a couple of steps, and people ask me this, Dale, how did you get started doing all this work? And Sid and I have talked about this a lot. And it was years ago, I went through what I describe as a spiritual experience, and I'm thinking about reflecting on the ways in which I can serve those who need it the most, right? What is it that I'm bringing to the table? And this was years ago, but at that point, I had an MBA. I had been teaching at Ivy League University up in Philadelphia, a little place some people, Barry, have heard of, the University of Pennsylvania. So have you ever heard of that?
I think Wharton School goes there, right? Isn't that where
Wharton School is there.
Apply?
That's where I was teaching. And so
the Annenberg School?
No. At the
Remember
Wharton School.
Annenberg?
I do remember that.
So Walter Annenberg went to my high school, prep school in New Jersey, gave $100 million to Petty School in New Jersey and $100 million to his Wharton
to UPenn.
to UPenn.
Oh, wow.
All the same day.
Oh, wow.
$200 million.
$200 million, yeah.
Didn't even know he was missing it.
Big checks, yeah.
Big checks.
So at this point where I'm actually living in Dublin, Ireland, and I'm on the back of this bus. This is like the storyteller. Gail would love this if he were here. So I'm on the back of this bus. It's a cold, rainy, wet morning, and I have this experience, awakening. We could call it an epiphany, whatever you want to call it, but it was a very powerful kind of realization that I've been blessed with a lot of things, from my education, like I said, teaching at Wharton, being able to start a business, being able to go and work in a very prestigious consulting firm over in Europe. and I'm thinking, well, what do I have? Because I'm not a preacher. I'm not a priest, right? I'm not a nurse or a doctor, And so then it hit me that the things that I understand about economics and finance and business strategy are actually really, really helpful for a lot of people who need income and assets. And so I became really interested in that. Fast forward, I end up in Richmond, and that was the birth of RVAWorks.
And how many people have you touched? Go through your alumni count, 112?
There's 112 alumni, and we just hit, because we understood it wasn't just about skills, it's also about network, right? Sid reminds me all the time, he says, Dale, people need to meet people if they want to be in business.
Yes.
And so 1 million cups is a huge part of what we do, because people need the professional connections. And so we now just this week, we hit number 400. So that is over 500 business owners that we've touched in some way as being a speaker, promoting their business, or involved in our educational program. And that doesn't even count the credit counseling program that Sid's been running.
Wow. So have you tell them about the Ignite, the conversations that we're going to have twice a day, and where this 400 network could come into play?
Yeah, so the whole concept of Ignite, and Barry said this often, is answering the why in this community. There's a lot of untouched topics here that people just don't address. And Richmond is such a beautiful place, and I feel like the people need to start reflecting how beautiful Richmond is. And so we need to talk about things like emotional intelligence in businesses and mental health and how to build teamwork, team building, that sort of thing. How we can start getting people off the street and in homes, So those are topics that we want to touch base on every single day here and invite people to come in and have a conversation with each other instead of having a talking head speak to them about a topic in a very generalized form.
Yeah, that's great.
The answers will come from the people sitting around the table. 2, 50, it doesn't matter. We're going to do it. We're going to put it. We bought the owl. I think the owl is the coolest thing. Have you seen the owl?
No.
The owl is really cool. But it puts the information, the conversation, it follows the person who's talking, the owl, and it records, and we're going to put it on YouTube. Evie is going to be incredible help. Her youth, her knowledge is going to connect so many people rapidly. We just got to get it started. Next week, we're kicking it, and I'm glad you guys are here. Sid, real quick, Dale alluded to the storyteller. Do you know how to tell a story through Gail? Has he taught you this little tool or no?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But I just want to comment that
Yeah.
what Avi was saying that we have monthly alumni meeting, and instead of just talking about how we make more sales, they actually talk about the topic exactly what you said, and it surprised us a bit. Like talk about the mental health, how do we deal with employee, how about manage our time. Like we got so many things to do, so that's exactly the things that most people don't talk about. And we thought we just need to sell more stuff. But there's much more to the business, the whole very holistic.
Sid, one of the things I learned in a sales meeting when I was at the car dealership was somebody did a meeting, and I'll never forget this. Money is the end result of doing everything right? And it's not, everybody negotiates what they're going to get paid versus focus, what's the job, what's the opportunity, can I do it, what do I need to do? And then I get paid even more than getting boxed into an upfront amount of money. Smart business people see value and are willing to pay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're, believe it or not, past 10 minutes. We're at 11, but go ahead.
I'm looking forward to learn more from the story channels because, I love to hear him talk, and I wish I can talk like him and tell a story.
He can do it. And Dave Barrett is a big part of Dale and I getting together. I mean, sometimes I say God is great, right? And how did this all happen? Where did it all come from? And it's just through networking. I mean, you and I going to dinner with Dave Barrett, who's a instrumental in this community, bigger than I am, and has accomplished so much. And he took us to dinner, you remember?
Yeah, I
and
did.
that's how we met.
Yeah. It was great.
I was scared to death to meet you. I mean, he had you built up, and I'm meeting some guys a lot smarter than me, and it's proven out you are smart. But it's been great. It's a great relationship. It's a great relationship.
Don't believe the hype. So I just wanted to, I wanted to say real quick that I couldn't agree more with the point about authenticity, because there's a lot of business card exchanges and networking events. And really what people, I believe, are hungry for is authenticity, because like Sid was referencing there, when we have those alumni discussions and even some of the discussions in 1 Million Cups, people are saying, well, this is what's going on for me. It could be about a parent, it could be about their child, it could be about something to do with a medical situation. And sometimes it's really challenging. And then sometimes it gets even more challenging. Mm-hmm. And so it's great to be working here with you, Barry. It's great to meet you, Evie. And
great to meet you all.
And it's great having the ability to hold these events here. I love Ignite.
I hope you guys can start doing some podcasts here when you're here each week. Bring your people in, and you can do your own podcast. And you never forget with the sickle cell event I went to a couple months ago. Those students are not those people in the medical care of Wally Smith at sickle cell down at VCU. I've been dealing with him for about 13 years, and so I know a lot about sickle cell. And I remember asking, "What does a white guy care about sickle cell? It's not going to affect my family." And it affects our whole family. It does. It's called a community, right? Yes, you're going to be, black person's going to have the trait, possibly. It's just education. And so I remember getting through and talking to Walter, his name was, and I don't think he's ever gotten to RVAWorks yet, but that's an opportunity for him. He wants to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. He can't go back to college. He doesn't have thousands.
Right.
He doesn't have a lot of time because he's been in the hospital for 13, 15 years. He's been in the hospital. Right. He went through chemo. He's cured, but he needs your degree. He needs your certificate and confidence so he doesn't make big mistakes. He needs to know Sid's opportunity to find funding. So anyway, we'll talk a lot more about this.
Can I make one more comment?
Oh, yeah, because Evie's got the last Evie's got the last word.
I'll make one more comment there.
Okay.
All right. So my last one then will be that there's a lot of statistics and data that we've captured about the program and its efficacy and so forth. And one of the things that really makes a difference, and I love sharing this point because it's so important, the average annual household increase from before to after for the people who come through RVAWorks is a 38% annualized increase, right? Wow. That's a huge thing. When you're trying to make rent, figure out how to pay for, different household essentials, children, and so forth. So it really makes a difference. And 60% of the people come through are coming through from lower income households. So we're helping the people that need it.
Yeah, just thanks Barry and Evie, because when you said we're gonna do 10 minutes podcast, what are we gonna talk about? And it's 10 minutes up. I was like, man, I can keep going on. Like this is like
We're at 15
amazing.
minutes already.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. I think my first podcast.
It's
is
great.
Good, yeah. And it's make me feel like we're like in the Elliot in the morning, with Elliot and Diane. So I can keep going on for hours. But yeah, it's just that was cool. Thank you.
Well, it was great getting to know you guys more and having you come in and talk to us about RVAWorks and everything that you're doing for the community. I want to leave it off with saying follow us at Ignite Sparked by BBB Central Virginia on Instagram and Facebook. And please follow BBB Serving Central Virginia on LinkedIn. We post every single day, and make sure to follow BBB Sharing on Spotify.